Conservative is the new punk rock. Changed my mind. You like you like Crass? Guess what? They didn't want government. Republicans want less government too. Republicans do not want less government. Don't give me that. These people fund more programs than anything else in the book. They put in more military spending. They put in more in the police budget. Crass hated the police. Republicans love the police. Don't give me that shit if Crass would have been voting Republicans. Conservatism is also not the new punk rock. Conservatism is the maintaining, trying to maintain the establishment of the current system, and punk rock is a rebellion against the system. Don't give me that lazy schlack. If Crass were around now, they'd be for Trump for real. Dude, they're still around. They're not a band. I mean, they still do some reunion shows, but they're essentially not a band. But all of the members are still alive, and they've spoken out about the state of America in 2016, and they were like shitting on Johnny Rotten. They were like, we knew the motherfucker sucked from day one. So, yeah. Yeah, no, they definitely would not have been for Trump whatsoever. Johnny Rotten's low-key go to with the sauce, though. Johnny Rotten sucks. I will admit, the Sex Pistols, I don't hate them for their sound. I hate them for their origin story. Which is, they're a boy band. None of them got together because they liked to make music and, they wanted to do something great. Their original bass player before Sid, he wanted to be a more progressive, like proggy band, like certain Beatles stages. That was what he wanted to do, and you can hear it in some of the other stuff he played in back in the day. The guitarist sucked because he didn't want to be the guitarist. He just got put there by McLaurin, who said, "You're the guitarist because I do what I tell you." They were a manufactured band, and manufactured bands were the main thing punk was against. People always say that, but find me anything that sounds like Nevermind the Bullocks from back then. Their sound is undeniable. Well, yeah, like I said, I don't mind the sound. I think it's a good sounding album, personally. It's not bad, it's not bad. It's not necessarily... It changed the attitude for sure, but anyone who says shit about simple chord progression got picked on in high school and wear a Dream Theater t-shirt. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like they're not good players, but neither were the Damned, and technically the Damned were the first British punk band because they came out with this. They had shows first and put out a single first. New Rose came out before anything that the Sex Pistols ever did. Don't even like Dream Theater? Yeah, fuck Dream Theater. It's whacked. The Damned are cool too? Yeah, absolutely. I love the Damned. I like them more than the Sex Pistols, But, like I said, the Sex Pistols are... They played punk rock. They weren't punk rock, though, None of them were punks. Two of them said it. I can't remember I can't remember their names because all I can ever remember are Johnny and Sid. But, yeah. Two of them, it started off as a normal just rock band, right? And then all of a sudden, Malcolm McLaurin comes in and, hey, let's try this shit out. And then you're out of the band. I'm going to put this guy in. You're out of the band. I'm going to put this guy in. And we're all going to be sure to always wear my merch, my clothing store, whenever you do anything. Be sure to always do that. Be sure to shout us out as much as possible. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Get into as much trouble on TV as you can. Always do that. Be provocative. Make people talk about you. Yeah. They were seriously, they were a boy band to sell clothes. Okay, Mr. Punk Extreme, I get it. I like Discharge and Chaos UK too. I just like the Sex Pistols too, and the Exploited. They sound hard. I mean, like I said, I like the sound of the Sex Pistols. But their story and the way they're hyped up as being the most punk rock band, no, absolutely not. And people knew this shit back then too, In England, the Sex Pistols within the punk movement weren't seen as great. You know, specifically with more of the harder stuff. Like Discharge, shit on them a lot back in the day. Crass, Flux of Pink Indians, uh, Icons of Filth. Like they all tore into shit about the Sex Pistols and how they were just like posers and all of that. And some people within the States loved them because all you saw was the headlines. You didn't know the story. You just saw the headlines. You're like, damn, they're fucking shit up over there, right? Of course, America ruining the day, as always. They were jelly. Let's be real. Sex Pistols had crazy success. Oh yeah, no, yeah, no, they did. They did very good. It's just they were posers through and through. You know, like even to this day, Johnny Rotten doesn't talk about a love for other punk bands and punk music. You know, he just talks about pissing people off. That's pissing people off is not punk. Being punk will piss a lot of people off. Don't get me wrong, but that's not all there is. Hey, what's up with you? I'm just talking about music because that makes me happy. Johnny Rotten is just hated now because he was pro-Trump. He was always been hated amongst like more of the real punks, like more of like what you call fashion punks, like the Casualties and fuck the Exploited, and you know, bands like them, like the street punk bands, they love the Sex Pistols. But if you get into like more like chain punk, like you know, like the crust punk stuff, they hate them. You get into like anarcho punk, they hate them. You get into like majority of hardcore, like beatdown hardcore, they hate them. Revival hardcore, they hate them. Pop punk, I don't even know. I don't even count them as punk half the time because it seems like such a different culture. But yeah, the majority of like punk now hates him, and punk then hated him, and just throughout just kind of hated him. I mean, if you like BTS, go for it. I guess they're okay. I don't listen to them. I've heard a few songs from people I know who like them. Black metal sucks. Black metal sucks, bro. It's awful. It's whack. Nah, it's kind of like some black metal. I like my local band. Well, it's not even local anymore. They're gone. Eldre. They were cool. I like Dark Throne, but Dark Throne had a crust punk phase, so that kind of helps. That helps me like them. So, yeah, there's that. But no, black metal sucks. It is awful. Oh, okay. Now I was just joking because it's the meme to say black metal sucks. But now you brought in like a band I actually hate. Fuck Burzum. Burzum fucking sucks. The whole atmospheric bullshit that Varg was trying to say when it was just a reality he couldn't play shit and just wanted to get in on a movement. Then he's just also fucking racist. Yeah, no, fuck Burzum. It sucks. Burzum is not. I'm sick of people pretending it is. I'm tired of pretending Burzum is cool. You know, the fucking Joker meme. I don't mind. I know you don't mind the racism, but no, Burzum sucks. It's first album. No, their music is actually just bad too because it's how prog nerds are about like Dream Theater and like Rush and all of that. Is how people. It's like how black metal are with like Burzum. It's pretentious. I hate it. You know, there's people just like, oh yeah, no, this is raw and technical because he was pushing the bounds of so much stuff. No, he just God. No, I hate it. I hate the pretension. Even when I liked Burzum, even when I was like more right leaning, I just like I mean, I'm not trying to convince you to stop. I just don't like Burzum. I'm expressing my opinions of I hate Burzum. Even when I was like okay with a lot of like fashy shit, you know, when I thought Behemoth was not bad, you know, it's not pretentious. It's just a good movie. No, it's pretentious because you get like Mayhem. Like compare the average Mayhem fan versus the average Burzum fan. You tell a Mayhem fan, dude, Death Crush sucks. They're gonna be like, yeah, it does. Musicality's bad, musicianship's bad. They could have had better lyrics, honestly. The production quality is just not great, but I like it. This is what I like. You tell a Burzum fan they suck, they're like, you just don't understand the artistry behind it. It's almost like a raw punk record. Yeah, personally, I like Death Crush. You know, I like Mayhem's sound. I don't really like them. They're kind of assholes, but I like Mayhem's sound. I wouldn't say it's like close to raw punk because raw punk can get so bad in production. Oh. Of course you like Mugla. Dude, why do you pull up like the more racist bands, bro? Why? Why are you pulling up like actual National Socialist Black Metal? NSBM. Why are you pulling up NSBM? Oh, Anti-Semics? Yeah. Simics? I don't know how you ever pronounce. They're not... Bro, how many rants have their members gone off about fucking immigrants and the New World Order? Ghost is the best black metal band? Based, yes. But, yeah, no, Anti-Semics, oh my god, that shit sounds so... Like, I remember in high school, I used to get... Like, me and my buddy used to talk about, like, who had worse production. Like, we had this conversation one day, and it was... we were talking about, like... I was telling him about, like, raw punk and, like, how punk production is just always awful. You know? How black metal is... You know, punk is, like... The production is awful, but no one really talks about it. Meanwhile, black metal... the production would be awful when everyone talks about it, and like that's the main joke, you know, about all of that. And we started talking about that, and I was like, dude, honestly, black metal has pretty good production compared to a lot of punk bands. And he was like, no, that's impossible. It's well known that it sucks. And then I showed him like Disclose, and he was like, oh fuck, oh my god, this is awful, you know. Dude, it doesn't matter if they're, you know, there's nothing racist and anti-Semitic in Mugla's work. Just because the singer had one Off Noise album about Jews before he started the band doesn't make his current work racist. No, but all the members are racist, meaning it's a racist band. If it's a band made up by racists, it's a racist band, you know? And yes, I know there are people who sing explicitly within their lyrics about anti-Semitism and just, you know, all of that. Yeah, there are only two members, yes. Both racists. All of the band. They're like saying Disney is racist because Walt Disney hated Jews. Well, yeah. Back then, it was when he was the only production company, and when he was like making a lot of anti-Semitic shit. Yes, they were racist. Now, they're not because the majority of the company, I imagine, is not. But yeah, Christ, we got back to racism. Listen, we brought up black metal. It was inevitable. It's always inevitable with black metal, considering it. Actually, I had videos pulled up about this. We can pull that up.
If you're unfamiliar with
Dude,
the genre
I
of
feel you
black
too.
metal,
I really do.
then the little you probably do know.
Like it must suck, you know. Like you know, seeing like swastika, like the swastika is like everywhere and like across world religions and all of that. Like it's even in like Native American stuff, you know. But now you can't do that. You can't have that shit nowhere, because of fucking Nazis, dude, ruining everything.
Involves screamy vocals, Scandinavian dudes in black and white face paint, and an obsession with the occult. They played a big role in the 90s satanic panic that shaped most of that era's media discussion. What you might not know is that behind that veil of somewhat goofy edginess is something far darker and something that's in far more urgent need of being addressed. Much like North America, black metal has been developing a Nazi problem for at least the past 30 years.
I like the big metal font there, and then the Comic Sans. That shit's kind of goofy, but I like it. Oh, you know what would be sick if a metal band had Comic Sans as their logo? That'd be so fucking funny. Like we know about Party Cannon, how they have like big like a rainbow type font, you know, big like balloon letters. But imagine just Comic Sans. Dude, that'd be so sick. I love that band. I would love that band, you know?
The genre began in the mid-1980s with UK band Venom's eponymous 1982 record.
Ideas for... You're not wrong. You are not wrong. I could use that. Imagine. So I didn't even tell you what the kind of bands I'm in are. There, one is kind of like a D-beat, hardcore crust-ish band. It's kind of up in the air right now. The other one's like is specifically like a post-punk goth band. I want the post-punk goth band to have the Comic Sans font. That shit would be goofy as hell. That would be so fucking stupid. I would love that. That would be so fucking funny.
Setting the stage for the first wave of black metal, which consisted of bands like Bathory, Merciful Fate, Celtic Frost, and Sodom.
Okay. Ooh, Sodom? What the fuck? Sodom? I don't generally hear their name thrown in there. But I just want to say I don't agree with Merciful Fate being in this. Their music was not a. I don't agree. They didn't. All they contributed was the look and the imagery, which sure is important, but I argue that could have come from other bands. But that's for me to get on Lockhorns. So if Lockhorns, if for some reason you're watching this video, put me on your show, and I will argue with you.
In this earliest stage of the genre, black metal was more so the name for satanic metal, rather than having its own developed sound. It wouldn't be until later that decade that the early Norwegian black metal scene would take hold, giving the genre its more definitive sound, consisting of tremolo-picked guitars, buzzsaw distortion, blast beats, and gritty lo-fi production. This so-called second wave of black metal brought forth bands like Mayhem, Thorns, Darkthrone, Burzum, Emperor, and Dissection. And if you're versed in the subject already, you probably know what comes next.
Oh, yeah.
Nearly every band or artist I just mentioned is in some way implicit in white supremacist or fascist behavior, up to and including murder. Most famous of these is Varg Vikernes, sole member of Burzum, who is most famous for the murder of former bandmate Euronymous and for the burnings of several historical churches in Sweden. More important to this video, however, is his role in the...
Sweden? I thought it was Norway. It's Norway. He may have just misspoke, but I'm pretty sure it was Norway. But yeah, literally all those bands have been complicit in some sense. Even Darkthrone, which threw me for a loop. Because Fenrit, they've had anti-fascist lyrics, and their fans tend to be really very anti-fascist. And it may be because of the crust punk phase they had. But to think that Fenris is just Varg's a great person, it's what the fuck? What? It throws me for a loop every time, because I'm so used to them just being known for being the okay black metal band, but shit, every fucking time.
Development of NSBM, or National Socialist Black Metal. NSBM is exactly what it sounds like. It's black metal that espouses and promotes fascist ideals, either blatantly or subliminally. Some of the most prominent examples of outright NSBM bands are Absurd and Peste Noire, but
Yeah.
for as much as it sucks that those bands exist and are the way that they aren't the focus of this video. No, I want to talk about the bands that you don't see on Wikipedia's list of NSBM bands because, unfortunately, it's a demonstrably large portion of the community. Because
Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, again, NSBM. You think that's something super small? Like, who would be a part of that? It's a very large group within black metal. Like, as a little community, it is obscenely large to the point that you. And it's mainly just because people who are complicit with a lot of shit, you know. Because they're just like, I like how the music sounds, so I guess I'll go on stage right after them. It it's mainly because of stuff like that, and it's a wacky situation, you know.
you'd never outright hear someone say, "Yeah, I'm a Nazi," the onus sits on the listener to do the research and decide what to do from there.
Also true. I went in a different direction, but yes, that is also true.
Firstly, I think you need to ask yourself, is this worth the effort? I would never shame someone for avoiding black metal on the basis of its reputation as a Nazi safe space, because, frankly, it can be tough to justify the effort you have to put in sometimes. Digging through interviews and liner notes to see if you can find phrases and symbols that might be dog whistles is a ton of effort, and frankly, if you don't even like the music that much, it's probably not worth it just to figure out which bands you can't listen to, considering you probably weren't going to listen to them anyways.
Oh, absolutely. That's actually a really good take.
For me, black metal is one of the most exciting and interesting scenes in metal right now, with the most boundary-pushing innovation and a focus on atmosphere that isn't really represented with the same care elsewhere. Its extremity and depravity act as a backdrop for the pure vibes of it, but like I
Yeah,
kind of have always said, there's nothing more depraved than being a white nationalist. And that
I would say yeah. Black metal has been a little bit more extreme than a lot of stuff. Because there's been atmosphere pushes, and even though earlier in the stream I was like making fun of like Burzum fans for being pretentious, sometimes that stuff is cool. Uh, like uh, DSBM is honestly it can be very interesting. Like don't get me wrong, other forms of extreme metal can also be interesting. Like grindcore, for as lazy as it can be, there's also some great bands to come out of it. You know, like Japan, Wormrot for sure are amazing. Even though Nails is kind of power violence, I throw them in there as grindcore. Also another amazing, innovative band. Death metal, you've had Archspire, which was great, but there haven't been much innovations with that since then. A lot of other metal genres can become stale very quickly. Meanwhile, black metal has been one of the ones to change and adapt surprisingly well to offshoot so many new things, which is honestly impressive.
that's why I'm making this video. To start, I'm going to show you the easiest way to quickly weed out any sketchy ties a band might have. Watch this.
Google, nice.
See, for Behemoth, it was pretty immediately obvious just from this search where the band leans politically.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
watch. And for summoning, it was just as easy in the opposite direction. Replacing NSBM with Nazi or fascist also works. Now, I've picked two extreme examples to show how easy it can be, but this is probably the least reliable of any of the tactics I'll be showing today. An
Yeah.
issue I find incredibly often is that the top result will be the Wikipedia page for
Doesn't
National Socialist black metal, which is not
help.
super helpful given the article includes opposite examples. With this method, you will still likely have to do a bit of digging, and for bands on either extreme of the popularity scale, it can be difficult to find any information at all, either buried or just non-existent. That's where we come to my personal favorite resource, the Red and Anarchist black metal subreddit. Not only do they share tons of amazing
did not
and
know it was a
safe
subreddit.
black metal bands to listen to every single
sick.
day, they also have two essential pinned posts for any left-leaning fans of the genre. First is this long and detailed list of comrade and sketch-free labels and organizations, which is the perfect way to find underground musicians in the genre who could absolutely use your support. Secondly, the real reason we're here is the Is X Sketch thread, where essentially people ask if a band is sketchy, and other people give as much information as they can about why they are or are not. On the most recent iteration of the thread, you can very easily just Control F to see if a band you're looking for has been talked about before, and look from there.
That's sick. Dude, yeah, they absolutely do need that for pop punk. That, yes. There needs to be one to make sure they have not been... they don't have any allegations open on them. That absolutely needs to be a thing. I wonder if there's like a thing for this, but like for skinhead music, because although skinheads aren't explicitly racist, they do have that reputation. So I wonder if there's anything like that for them. You know, there's got to be, right? I'm gonna look into it. Maybe there is, but a subreddit for that for pop punk. Ooh, yeah, that'd be great. The way you spot fascism and black metal is find the band that sounds really good. I don't know. I kind of hate Behemoth, honestly. I'll be real with you. Black and the death metal can be good. Don't get me wrong. It can be great. But theirs is always a little too lazy for me. Yeah, it's too formulaic. So, yeah. Also, Pest Noir, fuck off. That band sucks. That band fucking sucks. Behemoth, they're not... They're anti-fascist. Peste Noir is... Dude, Peste Noir sucks. Fucking Nurgle, dude. Nurgle, Peste Noir is creative as fuck. I don't like it, though. And they suck. Their musicianship is... Blech. Yeah, try to defend Nurgle, though. I want to defend Nurgle. Defend Nurgle. The most hated man in black metal. Defend Nurgle. A fascist. And the most hated man in black metal. Defend him. Defend him right now. Yeah, and you're proud of that? Are you proud of that, dude? Are you proud that a lot of your bands? See, exactly. You said look for the bands that are really good. Yeah, Nurgle is black metal. Let's not go back. You're correct. And a man who's just an open fascist. Plus, anti-fascist black metal can be really good too. Like I said, Neckbeard Death Camp has been phenomenal because they hold to their first release held to the roots of black metal. You know, if you want, dude, no. One, I'm not the greatest fan. I'm not the biggest fan of black metal. I have to. Neckbeard Death Camp is trash, bro. You say that because you hate low distorted guitar. You hate shrieked vocals. You hate everything that makes black metal black metal. Fuck off. Even when I was a conservative and I thought Antifa was a terrorist group, even I thought Neckbeard Death Camp was good. Okay, so why do you hate Neckbeard Death Camp? Huh? Has no musician. Black metal has no musicianship. That's the whole point of it. The whole point was like a rebellion against like the overcomplication of death metal at the time. They don't take them seriously. It's a joke, but they take themselves pretty seriously, honestly. At the beginning, maybe not, but as the years have gone by, yes, they have taken themselves very seriously. You just think that they're a joke. That's on you. That is on you. If you know, they take themselves as seriously as any of these other fascist bands. You know. Oh, look at me! I look at me! I'm so very fucking scary. There's immigrants, right? Well, that's King Dude on it. Honestly, don't ask. There's gonna be so many. There's debates on what is and what is not black metal. But yeah, you saying Neckbeard Death Camp is trash gives me the opinion, and you like all these other fascist bands. It gives me all I need to know about you. You don't even care about the music. You care about what they say. That's it. That's all there is to it. All there is to it. I care about the riffs and emotions. So why do you not hate Neckbeard Death Camp, why do you hate Neckbeard Death Camp, but you don't hate all these other bands? It's the same emotion, and oftentimes it's a very similar riff. Neckbeard doesn't hit the right mood. Angry. Frustrated. It doesn't hit the right mood. It doesn't hit your mood. Lefty bands are incapable of genuine hate. Oh, okay. So all of crust punk and grindcore is just not, it has no hate. Napalm Death is just nothing to you. You don't want angst. Okay, well, I guess you got me there. I guess there is a difference. Is angsty? Okay. So, but you do just want hate then. There you go. You want pure murderous hatred. What's that say about you, though? That says something very, very fundamental to your character. Like, homie, are you a fascist? Are you? Like, I'll give you a yes or no question. Are you? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Bubble in an answer. Multiple choice test, except it's two choices. True or false? Right now. Are you a fascist? Yes or no? Fascists take away other. Yeah. Yeah. What does that have? Are you a fascist? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you enjoy fascism? Do you endorse it? Do you prop it up? Do you like fascism? Do you prop it up? Do you think it's cool? Do you think it's good? Do you think fascism is good? No. Do you think fascism is good? You know the definition of it. Do you think Nazism, all right? Nazism. Do you think Nazism is good? The same thing that these black metal bands are espousing. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's good? Do you like it? Do you think it's good? They're not preaching Nazism. A lot of them are. A lot of them are. National Socialist Black Metal, National Socialist Party of Germany. Hitler was a good... Do you like it? Do you like fascism? Do you like this specific brand of fascism known as Nazism? Do you? Yes or no? Yes or no? Quit dancing around. Say yes or no. The more you dance around, the more it leans very well to yes. Nazism, you know what it is. We're going with Nazism because it's National Socialist Party of Germany. I define it as taking other people's rights. What are you telling me that I like? No, I'm saying, do you like fascism? Fascism isn't just taking away people's rights, and you know that for a fact. Do you like fascism? Answer it, yes or no. Yes or no. Then I don't know what fascism is. Bro, am I going to have to pull out the fucking points of fascism just so you know and you can pull out this shit? Say, you know what Nazism is. You know what it is. Quit doing this fucking pseudo, like, dancing around. You know what it is. Everyone knows what it is. Everyone has some idea of what it is. Nazis still exist. Nazis absolutely still exist. A Nazi party exists in several forms in several different countries. America has had a Nazi party. England has had a Nazi party. Now answer the fucking question, yes or no. The more you dance around, the more it's a yes. Nazism, you know it. Everyone fucking knows it. We're going with Nazis. Do you like them? Do you support them? Do you support what these bands are saying in their lyrics? Do you? Do you enjoy it? Are you an enjoyer of what these bands are saying in the lyrics? Are you? Are you a fan of what these bands are preaching? Do you think what they're saying is true? Not all of them. Not all of these bands. Not all of them. Most, but not all. And even then, I would argue not even most. So, when they do get political, do you agree with it? Do you like it? Do you think it's good? Yes or no? Guys, I think the answer is yes. He just doesn't want to say it. You don't care? That's not the answer. I gave you two choices, yes or no. Yes or no. Do you like it? Do you think it's good? Do you support what they say? Do you like fascism? Do you like Nazism? Do you support what these bands say in their lyrics? There is no yes or no. Bigotry is a spectrum. Bigotry is not a spectrum. You're either a bigot or you aren't. Yes, by forfeit. It's coming up to that, but I just want this man. I'm going to see if I can't get him to say yes. I know the answer is yes. Because if it was no, he would have said no a long time ago. But I want him to say yes because he's making it a little too easy. Do you like it? I don't even understand what I'm answering yes or no to. Do you like fascism? Do you like Nazism? Do you agree with what National Socialist black metal bands say in their lyrics? When National Socialist black metal bands get political, do you agree with what they say? Do you like what they say? Do you support what they say? Do you like them not liking Jews? Do you not like Jews? Do you like that a National Socialist black metal band? Okay. A National Socialist, that doesn't mean anything. A National Socialist black metal band. When they get political, do you like what they say? Do you endorse what they say? Do you enjoy it? Do you think it's good? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you like what they say? Do you endorse it? Do you enjoy it? Do you think it's good? Yes or no? Yes. God damn, I'm getting tired about this now. It's 5, and I think the bit's dead. The answer is yes. The answer is fucking yes. I know you do. So yes, the answer is yes. You enjoy fascism. There. It's not. Wasn't that hard just to say it. And if you enjoy fascism, you are a fascist. I'm sorry.
Some of these connections are more damning than others, and a lot of the time it's going to be up to you to decide what you're comfortable with. So,
So making music is fascism? No, but making fascist music is fascist.
what if you want to start doing the research for yourself? Well, here's where it gets tricky, but also where I think the real importance of this video lies, because the methods we use here can be just as effective in the real world as in metal. Black metal may have a long history of being a safe space for white supremacy, but it's not unique in that regard, and the lessons you learn from being a politically engaged fan are equally valuable for use in the real world. First step, let's talk about symbols. This is where my video is going to get demonetized if it
I can't look up Goat Moon Live. That would get the stream knocked down because I'm pretty sure that's copyrighted.
hasn't already. I don't think I need to tell you that if a band uses a swastika or Iron Cross imagery, that should be enough to tip you off, but there are some other lesser known ones that are still just as important to keep an eye out for, if not more because of the lower visibility. First up is the sun wheel, or the Sonnenrad.
I'm not gonna put up a note. I'm not gonna prop up a fascist band on this stream. Yeah, there's a lot of bands that just do Hitler salutes. I know that happens. I'm not gonna put them on the stream. I'm not gonna support them in any way. I'm not gonna give them views. I will give this man views. He deserves it. Good channel.
In German. This one is similar to the Nordic symbols that we'll get to in a second, in that it's a fairly mainstream ancient European symbol that was only later appropriated by Nazis to invent some horseshit mythology.
Yeah, I pick on them. I'm picking on both. How would me showing them on stream doing something that I know they did and giving them, monetary views, how would that, what's that going to do to them? Do you want me to say that Goat Moon is a fascist band? Yes, they are. They absolutely are. Meanwhile, Mugla is not even guilty by association. They're just fascists. Not only that, they play in National Socialist black metal concerts. No, they both are. They absolutely both are. A band made of fascists is a fascist band. A band that sings about fascism is a fascist band. Both are fascists. Drinking game. Drink when I say fascist. Don't. You will die. You will die.
Around their ideology. Viking metal band Bathory's album Hammerheart has this symbol on the back of its cover, which would definitely be worthy of some suspicion if not for later statements and interviews exemplifying that the band clearly do not hold fascist beliefs. Otherwise, though, it's a pretty strong indication at the very least. The aforementioned Nordic runes are another one that people will often dispute, but there are 3 in particular that are really telling, those being the Life rune, the Roman Othala rune, and the Wolf's Angel. These have all been taken and used to help fabricate that same mythology around white supremacy, to give a feeling of owning your heritage and
don't drink.
crushing
Please don't.
the enemy.
Not even water. Breathe.
All of this is horse shit, of course, but I think it's important to show them and to explain it to demonstrate how, unfortunately, a genre as aggressive as this, with such roots in paganism, would naturally attract anti Semitism and white supremacy. There's a couple other symbols as well that should be a bit more obvious if you see them, but a lot of people still don't know. I'm showing them on screen right now for a second so you can get an idea of.
And to give you an idea, I'm just gonna boop. Yep, see that one in the far bottom right? Yep. What's weird is that a bunch of South American and Mexican bands do the salutes and fly swastikas. Yeah. Mexico had a Nazi party once upon a time. So did Brazil. Hey, not to mention that Argentina was a safe spot for Nazis and fascists in after World War II. Yeah. You don't have to be white to be a fascist, you know? There's a lot of people who enjoy fascism. You know? That's just the thing, bud. I don't know how you think that's going to disprove anything.
Of what to look out for. Next, let's look at band members and side projects. My personal favorite tool for this is the site Rate Your Music, where you can see a complete list of every member a band has ever had, and from there you can click and see what other bands they've been a part of. For Batushka here, you can see that Krzysztof, the main member of the band, has played in a band called Sturmovik, which, if you look into them,
Sick
is
band, by the way.
Explicitly anti-fascist crust punk band, so not sketchy. With Deathspell Omega, on the other hand, it's a little harder because the band has never confirmed their lineup. A quick Google search, though, will show us that the vocalist is almost certainly Miko Aspa, who has played in and continues to play in several straight-up NSBM bands, so pretty clearly worth shitlisting. It's also worth looking into NSBM festivals. Whether or not they deny the label, if they play an explicitly fascist festival, then they're clearly okay with profiting off of and supporting that image for their own band, and that is unacceptable. Now let's quickly look at interviews. For a lot of smaller or older black metal bands, this might not be an option, but for bigger or more recent...
What's the point of this? You refuse to listen to great music because the singer is a shithead? No, I refuse to support them monetarily and morally. Because the singer or the band or the lyrics and all that are shit people. It's like, let's just take up a straight up NSBM band. I will never listen to them because I will never agree with the message or the lyrics that they're trying to say, put out into the world. Not only that, I disagree with giving them any money through any streams, YouTube views, buying merch, vinyl list. Any of that. I refuse to give them any money because I disagree with it. That's voting with your wallet, as some might say it. And if the person is just a fascist, not a explicitly NSBM band, but they got a member in it, I will do the same thing because I don't want to give them my money. I do not want them to be successful, so I don't do it. So if you know your plumber didn't like Jews, would you rip the piping out of your house and not support him morally? I would not call the plumber. I would just never call the plumber. I will get another plumber who, isn't an anti-Semite, an anti-Semite. What, you think I was just going to say, no, I'll just keep getting the same plumber? No, I would not get the same plumber. Get a different plumber. Yes. I would not listen to a Nazi band, but I would listen to an anti-fascist band, If you knew about it after he did the work. Well, then what the fuck can I do at that point, right? What am I going to do? If I already heard the band, I can't just unlisten to the band. I can just stop listening to the band. Same thing with the plumber. If I already use them, I'm just going to never use them again. You think you got some big gotcha, dude. No, it's not anything. Yeah, no. Yeah, plus I'm not even missing out on that great music, right? If I'm not gonna agree with the message, I'm not going to like the music. Well, then you're lost. Not really. If I'm not going to enjoy the lyrics or the vibe of it, I won't enjoy the music because lyrics are a part of music, right? Even if you can't understand them, they're still there, and once you read them, they can amplify the song. You know, if I don't enjoy the lyrics, I'm not going to enjoy the music. Clear. It's like if I don't enjoy a bass line in the song, I'm not going to enjoy the song. I'm going to enjoy the aspects of the song. The majority of those lyrics have nothing to do with race or politics, unless it's a explicitly NSBM band, and then they do a lot of times. Even if you don't think religious, you know, lyrics aren't political, yes, they are absolutely political. And race, yeah, a lot of these people talk about race. They use analogies to talk about race. You know, it may not be explicitly like immigrants and black people and all of that, but sometimes they talk about foreign invaders. Sometimes they talk about people of the land. You know, it's not. It doesn't have to be explicit, but it can always be there.
Groups, this can be a pretty good way of finding the band explicitly stating their political leanings.
Most of the bands on Reddit aren't SBM, and they don't have political lyrics, even with analogies. They're only guilty of being political outside the band. And art isn't just a standalone thing. The artist plays a lot into the art. A painting isn't just a painting. Is a reflection of someone's mind and someone's imagination and someone's skill. Art isn't inherently separate from the artist. You can separate. You can ignore the art. You can ignore the artist. You're not necessarily separating them. Where do you see racism in Hitler's art? In the artist. Art is the in-depth look at one's own imagination, creativity, their psyche, right? Music and all that is a form of just spreading creativity. If that person's got some bad takes, it can be expressed in there. You know, like when people make pieces about their emotions, right? They're expressing the emotions that they feel. If they're expressing they're doing that in art. They can do that in painting. They can do that in music. Yada yada. I mean, even at the end of the day, the main thing is coming down to, I don't want to support them, so I won't listen to them. I will not buy their merch. I will not do anything to prop them up, other than to laugh at them for being big fucking nerds. I guess Hitler did paint some racist landscapes. Like, I can say the techniques and all that he used were good. However, will I say the art is good? No, because the artist behind it was bad. You can nitpick and all of that. Yes, that's true. Can I say the guitar riff in a song about the extermination of a certain group of people is good? Yeah, I can say the guitar riff is good. But that's a technical aspect. That's not even saying that the art is good. That's saying like an element of what makes of an element of the art is good. Those two are not the same thing.
In my experience, the most common question for this to come up, if they aren't asked explicitly, is the question of influences. Most black metal these days is heavily inspired by Burzum, And most of the time, a band will bring this up and then heavily criticize the man's actual beliefs. Generally, this is enough for me to feel comfortable. If they don't,
No, there is a lot of black metal that isn't about hate. What the fuck are you talking about? We can take it back to like the technically the first black metal band, Venom. Venom didn't sing anything about hate. What about Dark Throne? You know, their first few albums didn't either until they got more into the crust punk stuff, and then they started singing about things they hate. But you wouldn't call that hate. You would call that angst. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Aggression? Okay. I guarantee you there's a lot of bands you listen to that don't, you know, aren't about hate and you think are great. Like I said, Dark Throne. What about that band? You know, I'm pretty sure you think it's great. Everyone thinks Dark Throne's great. Fascist, non-fascist, anti-fascist. Everyone kind of agrees that Dark Throne is a good band. And they didn't sing about hate. They didn't have hate in them.
or if the topic doesn't come up, you can usually tell from other full interviews, and if not, the other options should be enough. Finally, and this is the most time consuming, but can also provide the most valuable insights if nothing else works, look at the band's Twitter, and especially their Facebook. I say especially Facebook because as a social media platform, it's close to dead in the public consciousness, and so it's where slip-ups and mask-off moments are most likely to happen. Murmur is a good example of this, expressing some heavily racist sentiments and also just being an outright COVID denier on his Facebook. A particular member of the band Agalok has in the past made anti-Semitic jokes on their public Facebook, referring to it as Jew book, but more importantly, the band has come out more recently and not only denounced those statements, but come out publicly in support of BLM and expressed a need to do more than just call out behavior like this from members of the band, but to reach out and confront it on a personal level. Clearly not the ramblings of an anti-Semite, that's for sure. Twitter can also be a good option, particularly because you can see an account's likes publicly, which, especially with the political climate being as tense and as online as it is, can very quickly give you an idea of where they stand. But, as with anyone, you shouldn't use liked tweets as damning pieces of evidence. Rather, it can be a good indication that it might be time to start digging.
I don't care who or what the hatred is directed towards as long as it's there. But at the same time, I said, like, what about Napalm Death and what about Punk? And then you just said, that's not hate, that's angst. Wah. You just define hate as whatever you want, and then at the same point, you just use it to say it's only for fascists, and hate makes music good. Therefore, only fascists make good music.
So ultimately, we've figured out how to find and how to avoid fascists in metal. But what can you do to fight it? Obviously, an easy personal solution would just be to pirate or not listen to the artist's music at all. But my biggest suggestion, make more anti-fascist black metal.
Hell
For
yeah.
the longest time, the genre has been a safe space for white supremacy and elitism to be expressed and promoted to an audience of disenfranchised white teenagers looking for a place in the world. And young white men in particular are prime suspects for radicalization towards the right. It is our job to get to them first and to show them that their frustrations in life aren't invalid and that there is something they can do to move towards and to better the world around them. Art is one of the best ways to do this, but community is another one. Reach out to newer fans of the genre and recommend them red and anarchist black metal bands to start with. Support labels that take a firm anti-fascist stance and buy their music if you can.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Buy their music. 100%. Buy all their music. They deserve it. They do good work. Anti-fascist black metal is like taking the claws out of an animal. How? How is it? Yeah. How? Tell us how. Is it because you just see anti-fascists as just pussies and all of that? Because, like I said, Neckbeard Death Camp has tried to get into actual fistfights with a bunch of these bands that they, call fascists, and these bands just wimp out. So there's that. Because they're suddenly good and on the right side when it's supposed to be as evil as possible. But black metal isn't as evil as possible. It's supposed to be provocative, and they're still provoking a lot of people. They're provoking, fascists. And they get a lot of shit for it. Because black metal tends to not, the black metal community tends to not like anti-fascist black metal bands. Like you, for instance. So they're evil to you. Does he like fashion for his own sake? Yes, he does.
Labels like Bind Rune, Profane Existence, Mystic Chaos,
Oh shit.
all put amazing sketch-free extreme metal.
Definitely buy from Profane Existence. They're so fucking good. Again, I don't know how you define fascism, like his emotion. I like the emotion that it evokes. If you have an emotional tie to fascism and you have a rejection to anti-fascism, maybe that should tell you something, bud. And it does. It tells me a lot.
And that's just to name a small handful. The fight against modern fascism is a real one. It's one that we can't lose a grip on, and it's a fight we need to extend to every field bigotry takes root in. This is about more than just music. This is about the rights and the livelihoods of hundreds of millions of people. I'll see you in the mosh pit.
Hell yeah, I get in a mosh pit with this dude anytime. Anytime.